So what does the end of season 1 mean? Well, it doesn't mean much in the renovation of this house. It's just a break so that people can find videos a bit easier. And let's face it, I can't continue on with season 1 for 3 or 4 years. So it's been nearly 12 months since I started the channel, and I want to break now and go into season 2. Season 2 will be not straight away, but it will be bigger things happening at the house. So there'll be the demolition of the back part of the house, and they'll be starting on the new extension at the back. There'll be a lot of work going on out in the garden, a shed, a carport, gardens being being made up. So there'll be a lot of things happening in season 2, but it won't be probably for 6 months. I've got a few things that need to be taken care of before I can start on these big jobs. So yeah, basically we're going to say goodbye to the start of the renovation, and season 2 will be, it'll ramp up to being some of the major construction happening. So what's going to happen in this episode? Well, I've got some progress to show you in the hallway. I've been doing some flushing, some cornice work. I've done some, got a good start on the wainscotting. So basically the first trial of how I want it to look in the long run. So I've got a piece that I've done that I'll show you. And as well as that, I'm going to be doing something. It's Christmas. We've got our Christmas tree here. Now, this is a Christmas edition / end of season 1 / a surprise for Julie. So Julie, working in retail, is working late as it's coming up to Christmas, and I'm left home alone. So what do when I'm left home alone? I try and get something done so that when Julie walks in, she goes, "Oh, wow, that looks cool." So what I'm going to do is this spot for the second set of pocket doors, I'm going to cut that open. And so I've got all the materials at work, but that won't be in this video to make up the doors. But I will be following on and doing the doors and getting it all finished off in the next, well, I'm going to have a break for a week, but I'll then get straight back into it. But we want to put this Christmas tree in the opening because Julie loves our Christmas tree. I should say her Christmas tree. It's her pride and joy. And no one can see it sitting here. We've got the lights, everything. So she's decorated it. It looks beautiful, and no one can see it. So we're going to put it in the opening there, and then when we're sitting watching TV over the next week, we'll be able to have the lights on and feel a bit more Christmassy. So I know that's something that will mean a lot to Julie, so I'm looking forward to getting this done. She'll get home at 10 o'clock tonight, so when she walks in the door, she'll see the Christmas tree in there with the lights going, and that'll make her feel good about coming home. So I'm just checking all my measurements. It's quite difficult to work out exactly where to cut because I'm trying to work on the size of the other set of doors, and if I mark it wrong and then put all my framing in and then the doors aren't the correct size, it's just not going to look any good. So yeah, got to get the sizes right before you start, even if you end up with a few lines. Like you can see how many lines I've got there,
sort of always thinking, no, I don't think that line will be right, so remark it. And anyway, well, at the end, hopefully you get it all right. So just cutting this out just with a normal reciprocating saw. I've just got a coarse timber blade in the saw, and that plasterboard cuts out really easily. It's just when you hit the studs that it is a bit difficult, but you just push hard and wait, and it eventually cuts its way through. So there's nothing too much to explain here. Pretty much just take out one piece at a time and work your way along. You never know what you're going to get. That's a double stud there, and that was a pain in the bum to get that out, but you just, if you can't get it out straight away, remove a few more bits and then take it out, and it doesn't give you too much grief if you take it one thing at a time. So we're starting to get a picture now of the look through into the parlour. It's always a bit of a worry when you start cutting a huge hole in the wall and you're like, oh, is this going to be any good? And then you cut it through and you go, it already looks good. But I've spent so much time visualising things in my head that by the time I do the job, I know what it's going to look like. So yeah, I'm just pretty good at visualising what I'm going to be doing. So here I'm just putting up the track. I've put a bit of 16mm MDF up there to screw that to, and I've marked a centre line on it, so just to make life easy for me. So I've cut the door jambs here. I've cut 2 sets the same so that I know it's going to line up on both sides, and I'm just going to screw them in roughly in place to start with. And I've got the door ready to go, and so yeah, as I said, I knocked these doors over in about 6 hours. Luckily it was a nice hot day and the glue dried quickly, so I only need to leave them clamped up for about an hour, and then I could unclamp them and join the next piece together. So yeah, I was really happy. I was going to stay at work for as long as I had to get these doors done, because unfortunately Julie worked out my plan to surprise her, and she wasn't expecting the doors to get done as well though, so I did surprise her in the end. So now I've said when I did the last ones that these Cowdroy tracks are so easy to use. I mean, you got to get your measurements right, and once you get those measurements right, you just hold it up there, put the pin in the little keyhole that you attach to the top of the door, swing the lock around, and it's done. So yeah, it just, when something makes your life easy, you love it, because there's too many things out there that give you a hard time. You need a win sometimes. So this didn't take me very long. I reckon that putting these doors up only took me about half an hour, and I didn't even adjust these doors. They were pretty much set from factory in the center position, and because I got the size of the doors, I measured 2-3 times, made sure I had the size right, and yeah, you can see they went up, they slid beautifully, and yeah, back inside there. Now these tracks are really good. They've got a stop. I'm just adjusting the stop up so that it's in the right place. So these ones here, when you close the door fully, it clicks into a spot in the middle so that they both close into the middle and clip into a stop, so they don't bang and slide back a bit, which is like what happens on the other tracks. Now those other tracks that I used on the other set of pocket doors, I bought them 6 months ago, and I've already bought this one out where they've improved some things. So
That grinding noise you just heard is the old light cable that's going down the wall and just rubbing on that. So that same thing as the aerial cable, that'll get taken out and then we won't have any issues. So just a shot for you to show you both sets. That's pretty cool. I'll get behind the camera and have a look. So I'm not sure if you can pick it up. These new doors, this is, what did I make it? This is 1600 open, that's open space. So this has got 3 panels in it. That one there is 2 meters, so I've got 4. So I didn't want to have 3 and then be massive. So I've just sort of made it what I thought was going to kind of go together, because I knew this from the start that it was going to have 2 different sizes. So you can see the arched panels here. So all the dimensions on the door are exactly the same. The gap at the top, I've made that the same. All these pieces are the same. This one here, it's got the curve on that one is a bit tighter, but all the dimensions are the same, obviously, except for the width, which is narrower. So you can see that those arches actually blend together nicely without looking different. So the capping just sits proud of that by 12 mil, but it hides the gap, which I think is cool. This has still got to be positioned, so you won't see any gap there. Now, when I finish these off, I've got some handles. I'll show you the handles actually. I picked up some handles yesterday. So these handles here are going to go, hang on, pull that out, in the middle of that. So, and then you just put your finger in and you can open it up. So that'll go in there. It's the same finish, it's called antique copper that I'm having on all the door handles, all the light switches, all that stuff. So it'll all blend in. It's from the same place I get all the light switches. This is going to be completely flush mounted so that when they close, they obviously you don't want them hitting and leaving a gap. So I'll check that in and yeah, fill these screw holes, wood grain it all, and I'll be done. So yeah, I think that looks nice. So I just thought I'd show you how long this is. So when we have our family here, keep in mind we've got 6 kids, and between us we've got 6 kids. So when they start having husbands and wives and kids, there's going to be a hell of a lot of people in here. So we'll be able to have a couple of nice long tables and all squeezed in here. So probably not when all the grandkids come along, but yeah, you can see that's a nice big room. So what have I got? I got just under 10 meters, 9.5 meters from wall to wall. So, you know, you can fit a fair few people at tables in that sort of space. So yeah, that'll work. Just thought I might show you a bit of a view from this side. Now that those pocket doors are in, yeah, I can sheet the inside of the lounge room, temporary lounge room. But I can now sheet all this and I can put the cornice up, I can come around, I can flush it all, I can, you know, paint, undercoat at least and make it look nice and neat. This, as you can see, is my tool shop at the moment. It's getting used as my storage room while I sort of work down the hallway. But yeah, it's a big job getting those pocket doors done, because I can really, it give me so many more jobs to continue on with. And it would be great to see things getting finished off. You know, this parlour with the entry, yeah, it looks cool when you come in, and you got to try and imagine it nice, like nice as in all finished off. But yeah, once it is all finished and painted, it's going to look so much better. So yeah, I'm really happy about. You can tell. You can always tell when I'm happy about something because I just bang on. But yeah, I am really happy about getting that job done, and that's why I busted my guts today to get those doors made and installed. It was well worth the effort. Sorry about the bike out there. So yeah, I'll leave it at that. All right, so I thought I might just quickly show you some of the things that I've been working on over the last couple of weeks. So down here, the wainscoting. I'll try and get a good angle for you. There we go. So pretty happy with that. I like the panel on it's basically like a fielded panel, but this is a bit of ply that's stuck onto the gyprock, and then I've wood grained the plasterboard here. So that's how I've cheated and done that, but I reckon that looks pretty nice. And then when you look at it next to the door, yeah, loving it. So that'll come all the way around and notch around there, around and along, all the way down the hallway. So that's a fair bit of work for me to do, but it'll look awesome when that's all done. So I'm looking forward to that. So onto the wainscoting. So I've got some 9mm MDF here, and I've cut it to 80mm wide, and all of the pieces I've made 80mm wide. So the bottom I'll be overlapping with the skirting a bit, and the top handrail piece will be overlapping the top, so that'll just make that down to half size, but the rest of the pieces will all be 80. So I've just biscuited these, and I've glued the biscuit in there and just stapling it on the back, just so that this will be movable and I don't need to get a clamp on it. So it's just I always figure out a way to build things and do it quickly, and when I'm doing stuff at home, I don't want to be putting things in the clamps and leaving it for a couple of hours. So I just work out a way to get it done and get it done quickly. So yeah, just making up the frame on the floor. As you can see, the kitchen table is a good workbench, and yeah, it's the only place that I have to work at home. So luckily Julie doesn't, not that she mentions to me, has a problem with me using the kitchen table. We don't mind sitting in front of the TV and having our meals, so that's all good. So you can see the frame coming together. Now this is going to go straight onto the plasterboard, so you'll see in a minute how it'll take shape, but it's just a really simple way to do it, and you can see all the strips I've got there to make up the rest that are going to go down the hallway. So I'm just cutting out a little notch that will sit over the AVE block. So checking the level, making sure everything's good. I've just got to trim that edge a little bit. It was slightly out of level, or out of plumb I should say, sorry. So I'll just trim a little slither off of there, give it a sand, and beautiful. Yep, she's level. Alright, so I pinned that framework onto the plasterboard, and I made up this beading back at the workshop, and this beading's made out of MDF as well. So I've cut it out of pieces of 17mm. I've ran the moulding along the 17mm MDF, and then I've cut it off, and then I've rebated it so it sits over the frame. And then I've just cut some 4mm plywood and pinning that on just to make it look like a fielded panel. So yeah, now it's painting time. So one thing with the MDF, especially when it's been moulded,
you need to get a really good sealer on it, because it's so porous. It actually needs 2 coats of the undercoat to really seal that surface. The face of the framework is pretty good, because it's got the when they make the MDF, they put like it's almost like a wax coating, and it's been pressed harder to make it smoother, so it doesn't suck in the paint like the bits that have been moulded do. So yeah, just if you do this, just make sure you give it a really good seal with some good quality undercoat, and then you won't have any problems when you paint it. Be nice if I could paint this quickly. Actually, if I could work this fast, it would be pretty awesome to build a house pretty quickly. Come on, hurry up. This guy's a bit slow, isn't he? Come on, get it done. Last bit. Alright, there we go. Now look at that. So, just did my normal wood graining thing. So, painted my cabothane with some stain in it over the brown coloured paint that I painted on first, obviously, and wood grain it, and then you just saw my homemade wood graining tool that was just what I call a witch's brush, witch's broom, that I've cut off and jammed between some bits of timber. And yeah, I like how this came out. I can just picture all the woodwork in this house. It's going to look really cool. Yes, it's dark, but you're going to have the paint, that the green colour is the colour that we're going to go with in the kitchen and down the hallway and down in the hallway. I've been doing a lot of work, so I'll turn you around again. So I've been doing a lot of flushing, tidying up things. I've filled in, there was a gap in there. I can't reach to show you, but anyway, I've pretty much flushed that, so that just needs to be sanded. I've plastered the bottom edge of that because it was a bit wobbly, the MDF. I've added in the keystone. Actually, I'll just go back over and I'll show you that keystone. Doesn't that look good? It's really like the icing on the cake. Really happy with that. So I put that on. I've had that for ages, but just haven't put it on yet. So we've got the picture rail that I've put in this section here, and then I've been flushing all the corners. I've been filling gaps around the cornice. I've still got that where the light is. I picked up some blue point connectors so I can terminate those wires and flush that up. So that'll be something that maybe even tomorrow I'll get in and do that. But you can see it's looking pretty nice. When you go around and you fill all the little gaps, it just looks nice. And all down the corners are all flushed. This corner here, I hadn't previously flushed that corner. So I don't know if you've spotted, there's a little bit of picture rail that I've got to put in here. So I'll add that in. I've got just enough to do that. The keystone from this side. So just been tidying things up, you know, like all this has been reflushed in the final coat, and the chamfers looking nice. So I've just got to go around and run some no more gaps around all these little gaps, and that'll finish that off. And then you got these pillars here they're all, they just need sanding now. So yeah, this whole room is looking spectacular, I must say. So then in this room here, I've got all the cornice up. It's not really a room, this part of the hallway. So I've still got the ceiling rose and the battens to go up. So, but that was a big job just getting that cornice done. When you're doing it by yourself, it's pretty hard yakka. So I'm not doing too much in a day, just what I can handle. So you've still got a lot of flushing to do in this part. I've got the architraves and everything that can go around here once I've made them up, so that'll be good. This door here, I need to make a new door frame and door. I've got the transom already, but I haven't got any more timber, so they'll have to wait now. So yeah, can you just imagine when you come through here and you see the cornice coming along across there, down there and across the front. That's going to really look good, so can't wait. So yeah, that's pretty much all the work that I've been doing. So I picked up these picture rails. They're just a plaster moulding. You can't actually hang anything from them, but it really adds a lot to the whole look of this hallway, having the picture rail up there. So that just gets put up with cornice adhesive, so you got to work fast, and because it does go off rather quickly, but yeah, put a good coating on there and push it up and you can virtually walk away. But I've just put a few screws into the wall there, just into the plasterboard, just to stop it in case it slides a little bit, because once that stuff's on there I'd have to cut the plasterboard out to get it off. So just put it into place, you run your finger along and job done. So yeah, I'm loving this. I left a gap around the door frame there for the architraves and the top blocks that will go around and fill in the last little bit there. And obviously this will all be wood grain, so I was just saying to Julie that this transom, once it's wood grain, I think the lead light or stained glass I should say, will stand out a lot more, so I'll get that happening soon, and we'll see how that looks. So I've just got a few gaps in the cornice that I'm just going back. There's always a spot where you don't get much squelch in the cornice adhesive, so you just got to go around and just add a little bit in here and there. And that was the join in the two pieces also that I had to just smooth out a bit more. It's pretty amazing stuff, this cornice adhesive. You put it in there, let it dry for a little bit, and then with a wet sponge you can just rub over the top of it and round it all off, smooth it, make the shape, and yeah, it comes out looking good. So it's pretty cool working with it once you've done it a few times. So this hallway, especially this first section of the hallway, is really looking nice, and I can't wait to see the rest of the hallway get this full treatment. You can see the rope pattern there and the corner blocks still come up really nice. So we'll be undercoating soon. Before I know it, it'll be all painted and looking super sweet.
Alright guys, so that's it for this video and for this season. So it might not be next week. I'll probably take a week off, I think, now that I've got those doors up. So in a couple of weeks we'll be starting season 2. So I hope you join me for that, and I might do a recap on all the work that I've done for season 1, maybe in a short or something. So keep your eyes open for a short to pop up. I want to say thanks very much to everyone who's supported the channel. All the new viewers, thanks for coming on board also. And hopefully with season 2, with the more substantial work that I'll be starting probably around mid-year, we'll really start to push this channel along. But for those that have been here since the start, or even the ones that have just come on board, thanks very much, and I hope you're enjoying the content. And if there's anything that you would like me to do, anything, have a go at doing something different in the editing part, just let me know, because I'm sort of just trying to put out the best with what I'm working with. And if I can change up some of my filming habits, or learn some new things on in the editing suite, then I'm happy to learn and push this channel forward. I think that's what I need to do. So please feel free to suggest, what you think, anything, all of you, anything you think that would make this channel better, let me know, please, because I really want to, try and build this channel up. And my plan for the channel is to make it a full-time job. Where we are at the moment with things that are happening behind the scenes, like with mortgages and plans, council and all that stuff, I couldn't do anything too major. But around mid-year, once all the plans, I'm still getting plans drawn up, and Marvin's helping me out with that, so thanks very much again, Marvin. So it is the end of the year. It is Christmas in 2 days. So I can't sign off without saying I hope that you all have a great Christmas. I hope you have a beautiful day with family, and you have lots of good food. I know we do. And we have something that we only have at Christmas, the pudding. I know that that's pretty standard, but the pudding, everyone probably says their pudding is the best, but ours is the best. And I wait all year for that Christmas pudding. So I can't wait for it. I hope you all have a good family day on Christmas Day, and I hope you have a great New Year's. So you probably won't see me before New Year's. So bring in the new year with lots of fun and love. I want to see, me and Julie have been talking about seeing a white Christmas. So we're probably going to head over to the UK in a couple of years. I plan to go over to the US next year. Just while we're on that, I've been talking with Janie from the Restore League house. I'm going to be going over and visiting her, or you, I should say, if you're watching, Janie. I've been really thrashing out her content lately, and yeah, I'm loving it. There's so much information there. All these channels, they're all different, and Janie's is just like every other channel, it's unique. And one thing I love about Janie, I hope you're watching, Janie. One thing I love about you is you just get in and you do it. I was watching the episode today where you put the harness on and you're going out to fix the roof that flew up. And, it's great to see, for the women out there, it's not just a man's thing. The women that I've seen in these renovation shows get in and they hold their own, and that's especially true for you, Janie. So anyone who's watching watching this video and haven't seen the Restore League house, there's another channel now. She's just changed it for legal reasons, basically, but I think it's called the Lee Kempner house. So is that it? Sorry, I probably got it wrong. But go and check that out. If you type that in, it'll pop up. I know because I've gone in there and typed it up, and it comes up pretty quickly on my feed anyway. So yeah, go and check her out. There's some cool stuff. She gets in and does the work, and it's a beautiful house, and it's so beautiful that I'm going over to the US to have a look at it, and hopefully I can help you out, Janie, and do some work while I'm there. I'd love that. So that's my shout out. Go and see the Restore League house, or the League Kempner house. Now I'm sorry if I got that second name wrong, but yeah, go and check the channel out. That's the main bit out of all of this. It's a great channel, and you really want to have a look at it. So that'll pretty much take me out now. So until it probably be sometime early January when you see me next, and it'll be season 2 at last. I'm going to be breaking it into 6-month seasons after this one. I just didn't have a real good spot to stop it, and the main reason I thought I'll call it quits on season 1 now is because it's the end of the year. So it's like, that's a good time to be doing it. So yeah, join me on season 2, and it'll be going along as it has been, and it will be ramping up in the middle of the year, and by the end of the year we're going to be building the house. We're basically building the whole house. The extension that we're going to be building on this is bigger than what the existing house is now. So yeah, please join me, and if you're not subscribed, just hit that subscribe button. I think you'll be interested to see all the different things that I tackle, and for you people that have already subscribed, just make sure your notifications are turned on, and just check your subscribe status too, because I still believe people are getting unsubscribed unwillingly. So just check that out. And yeah, well, until season 2, you have a great Christmas, a great New Year's, and I'll see you then.